Well, hey there, folks. A lot of folks, a lot of subs have asked me about mini shells. Have I loaded them? What are my thoughts on them and stuff like that? Well, yeah, I've loaded up some that really perform well. I don't like to call them mini shells because I need something that'll actually function in my shotguns without me having to make modifications to them so that they'll feed and stuff like that. I guess what I'm gonna call them is shorter than normal rounds. Y'all stand by. Going just fine. They are low recoil. You know, sometimes you shoot the bloody crimps, slam out of your rounds. And as hard as holes are to find today, we can't let something like that make this a once fired round. What I find myself doing a lot, or starting with the 3.5 inch, whenever I was been developing the quad loads, 37 cal and stuff like that, the pressures and all that put on these 3.5 inch holes, especially the thin wall like the Rio and the Shadite and the Fiocchi, that those big ball will just rip them apart. And these things are too blamed expensive and hard to find to just let it be a one shot and done deal for these things. We got to find a way to be able to cut them back and use them again, and that's what I've been doing. Whenever there are a lot of the 2 3/4 inch rounds that I've shot. You can make some really effective shorter than normal rounds. I wouldn't call these mini, but these are shorter than normal. 2 inch maximum length around. Once they're crimped, they may be 1 3/4 to 1 7/8 long. I'm gonna take y'all right now and show y'all how I trim them and about the overall length. I think it's right around 60 millimeters for you guys that have to use the metric system, or 2.35 inches, somewhere in that neighborhood. I explain all that in this next segment. Y'all watch this. Okay, folks, one of the most important parts about making these homemade mini rounds, these mini shells, I'm going to show you how I settled in on the measurements that I settled in on. I'll tell you one thing, folks, this Ballistic Product spinning trim is going to be your friend. It is going to be your friend. It's really nice to have one of these tools here to do this, to do a real pretty job with it. I've already decapped. This is a Nitro Gold premium hull. Nitro Gold, you want to make sure your primers are removed before you do this process here. Now, you can spin it backwards and trim it off. All I've done here is trimmed off right at the bottom of where the old crimp is to get that off. That's all we took off right there. And it's going to be the same measurement no matter what round that I trim. I'm going to show you exactly what it is here, or what I've come up with. Get it zeroed. And this is inches, folks. This is inches. I'll swap it over. It was going to be somewhere around 235. I got 236. I hope y'all can see that. 236, and we'll swap over to 60 millimeters. Looks to be just about exactly 60 millimeters for you folks out and abroad that have to use the metric system. 2.36, 2.35 would be just fine too. But that's what all of them, the length of these, total length that I'm starting with, that's what they are. We've got a couple of different kind of Fiocchis. This is Fiocchi Blue, Fiocchi Clear, Rio, the newest Federal Field, And you notice something, the regular primers don't work real good in these rounds because I'm pretty sure that these holes are made by Estate or Rio. Make these holes for Federal. So whenever you break these down, I go back with a Rio, or at least a Fiocchi or a Rio primer. You need to go back with a Euro or Spanish primer because this primer pocket is going to be set up for an Estate or a Rio hull. That's why your American primers are not going to work so good on these Federal hulls. But I tell you what they do work real good as. They work excellent as these homemade mini hulls. And like I said, you can spin it back towards you or press it up here and spin it away from you. I do, and just put a little bit of pressure on it with my finger because I just have a lot more control over it. See how pretty that cut is? It's beautiful and perfect. And we're just cutting that crimp out of these 2 3/4 inch rounds. Fiocchi right here, here's the Federal right there. See, we'll trim. I decapped these. The Rio. See how pretty a job that does. And also the blue Fiocchi. You got access to range holes. This is the stuff that you're going to see. And that's all we're doing here. That's all we're doing here to get set up to go the rest of the way with this. We're going to roll crimp all of these, folks. All of them. Like I said, that tool, that spin and trim from Ballistic Products is going to be your friend when we're doing the homemade mini shells. Prime example, here's a second load. That means this one has, this 3.5 has been fired 3 times. Now, right here, I don't know if you folks can see that, this one is starting to split. Everything else here has been fired 3 times, but this roll crimped every time. This is starting to split right here. I'm going to trim it back to a 3-inch. Make a great 3-inch. I'll show you here in just a second. Look here. Here is a 3.5 inch that I trimmed back to a 2 3/4 inch to get past bad part that's already been fired once. It can be loaded and rolled again. Look at that. Look at these here. See, these are just cut to where it's down beyond the bad part of the crimp to be loaded again. This one here, I got so much scribbling on this one. This one's probably been loaded 3 or 4 times. And look at there, that last roll is still in great shape. It can be loaded and rolled again like a 4th time. That's it. And we get 4 loads out of this. This starts out as a 2 3/4. I had to whittle it back once. Now we're making the most of it now, folks. Here is a Black Cloud, Federal Black Cloud, that started out as a 3.5 inch, cut back to a 3 inch. Had number 3 steel in it. Yeah, it can be loaded again. We can hit that with a spin and trim, and this one, like be considered about 2 3/4 inch size, can definitely be loaded again. So anyway, let me show you how I put a few of these together. Some of our best performers anyway. Range Test mini hull short shell. These are all 6 pellet double aught roll crimped. All have 29 grains of long shot. The gold has a flex seal. The Fiocchi cut has a flex seal. The AA gray and the old Upland here have a AA12 with the pedals removed. All have a Federal 209A primer. I've also got a number 4 buck. It's in a gun club hull. It's in my pocket. And there's 20 number 4 buck in that one. 29 grains of long shot and a AA12 base, pedals removed in that one as well. All right, the gray, AA gray is test 1. Go ahead and close it. All right, just fine. We're going to first test, we're going to do the pattern, then after that she's just going to shoot the next 3, and then we'll check the number 4 buck. 10-yard marker there. We are at 20 yards, maybe just a hair less than 20 yards. I have Rachel's got the 870 26-inch barrel, improved cylinder, Remington improved cylinder, test shot number 1 with the micro buck rounds. All right, baby, anytime you're ready. Just hold it dead center and let's just see what kind of pattern we got at 20 yards. Pretty good pop. Yeah, go ahead and eject that one out. There you go. It sounded like it got pretty good pop. Round looks excellent. Can probably load it again. The mosquito's eating us alive, folks. Let's go check the pattern. 20-yard pattern. Here's all 6. This is 33 caliber, powder coated double aughts. I think these are out of the Lee mold. All right, we see that they pattern good. Folks, if you hadn't got a spinning trim from Ballistic Products, you need to pick one of these up. These are some super convenient tools to have in your repertoire here at the bench. Like what I was talking about, this 3.5 inch, we just need to cut the crimp out of a 3.5 inch, just down just below it, especially if you've roll crimped it and torn it, like shot this one 3 or 4 times. Then we just need to cut the crimp out of it. Let's see if I can do this in front of the camera. See where the blade is sitting? Right there, 3.5 inch. So basically, to get it to a 3 inch, the measurements are done on these holes before loading. 3.5 inch means a 3.5 inch hole before it's been crimped. Same with 3 inch, same with 2 1/4 inch, same with 2.5. So looking at this, this is going to be just about right. Right there. All right. I'm going to spin it forward because I got a little bit more control out of it. I got a new blade on this thing. Now we have a brand new 3 inch ready to be loaded with no issues to deal with. That's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, that crimp was a ratted mess. Can you see that split right there now? That's the reason why we had to cut it off. Now, well, I got you guys here. We ain't nobody having a drive tonight. We're good. So now we've got this. This was a 3.5 inch. Been fired. It's been fired at least 3 times. Okay, and roll crimped every time. Now we've cut this 3.5 inch back to a 3 inch. See all the notes and all that and stuff written all over it. That's how I do my reloads, boys. Y'all see it down at the range. I read them every time. Look here, get a piece of 4/0 steel wool. Always keep some laying under the bench. See if we can clean this brass up, make it look brand new again. Y'all see that? Notes are all gone. Brass looks brand new. Even these notes, the notes is left here. This thing works just like an eraser. See, I'm wiping them off. I'll put it down here on my knee. I got a little bit more control with it. You're not going to get it all off perfect, but you got enough off. Most 95-98% of it is off. One of my favorites. Let's just put together one of my favorites. This here, I got some Chadite primers right there. Chadite primer back in the Chadite hole. We'll hit the lock and load up for you know what? I've got long shot in the lock and load. You see how I think these videos out so well for you guys before I get started? 28.5 of long shot is here in the Lee tabletop. I love this thing. Since probably 60 or 65% of my buckshot loads contain long shot powder, 28.5 grains. And let me see, grab an MG42. MG42 wad. Now remember, this was a 3.5 inch for 3 rounds. For 3 fires down at the range, this was 3.5 inch. MG42. This is one of my favorite buckshot loads of all time. We're going to get 16 pellets of some 31 cal powder coated. 16 pellets here in the MG42 wad. 16 pellets. Now see, this isn't even what the video was about. This is using what we got to make some really good stuff. Ballistic Products Original in the blue can. And yeah, I just covered the pellets. Green bingo card. Get it mashed in there on everything. Like I said, now, y'all remember, this was a This was a 3.5 inch when we third fired 3.5 inch before we got started. Now it is one of my favorite 3-inch loads of all time. 16 pellets of 31 cal. That is a deer hog killing machine right there. My Stoker loves these things. Take. Oh, did I? Okay. Can y'all see? I put a little crack in that bingo card whenever I roll crimp this. No worries. Take your nail hardener around here. I do this anyway. It seals it up to seal the buffer in there. Wet the top of that card. Now it's sealed up totally. No worries. It's going to fire just fine. Alright, I'm going to make a note on that, and we're going to get to what we're really talking about. We left the truck running hoping the dang mosquitoes would stay around the hood. Gun club, same scenario. It's got 20 powder coated number 4 buck. Okay, 20 pellet number 4 out of the mini shell pattern test, because we can see the small pellet holes. 20 yards. All right, baby, anytime you're ready. I say just under 20 yards, probably about 18 yards. We pushed a little off the line. Shoot, that sounds like plenty of pop. Wow. Jeez. Boys, I'm telling you, mosquitoes are about to eat us alive. Said this is improved cylinder. You know, you figure in a home defense or a varmint's close in or something like that, we got, oh yeah, we got good spread on that. But I'll tell you what, at this distance, home defense, a number 4 buck is hard to beat in a home defense scenario. What we're checking on is we'll, when we come down here to do the final test, we will make sure that we're going to chronograph them and all that other stuff. May even see if they'll run in an autoloader. I don't know. They may have enough pop. All right, I'm going to just see how they run in this pump. Folks, you're going to find that the hulls like the Fiocchi and the Rio really cut back nice. When you have to cut the crimp out of them, or just below, these really work up and load up beautiful and nice. I think I've already got Let me see what I've been loading some here. Loaded up some last night. Say, do I have a favorite in what I call a shorty type load? See that right there? Can y'all already see what it is? Yeah, I say I have a favorite. Look at that bad boy right there. That is a 70 cal ball. It's out of Marty's, over an ounce, just over an ounce of lead payload weight. Now, CB 1138 wide. If you can see it in, it's the base. CB 1138 wide base. If you've got a CB 1138 wide, they're readily available. Most places have them in stock all the time. 500 in a bag for $9. Usually around that area, $9, $10, 500 of them in a bag. If you've got that wad, you can load any of these loads here. Multiple configurations, whether the shot will fit inside the wad or not. Because if it don't, you can cut the pedals off and use the power piston, just like you would an FS12, like a Flex Seal from Ballistic Products. You can use the base of that CB 1138 wad to do anything, to use your bigger pellets. Here's one right here, cut. I'll leave a little few wing, about a 1/8 of an inch wing on it to go up under the ball. We're going to be shooting, these are ready to go to the range. I loaded multiple configurations to show you guys. See, I know I got some to show you folks. Here it is. I got a whole mess of the short rounds. See, I've loaded in just about everything. See, there's another one, 70 cal ball. That was a once fired Winchester. May have been a 2 3/4 or 3 inch. I'm not sure at one time, whatever it was. Cut it back, load it with a ball. Look at here. I loaded up a bunch of home defense rounds that I'm going to demo for you guys in another upcoming video. Here's one using, cut the crimp out of a 2 3/4 inch. See, this is what I'm talking about, is shorter than normal. This ain't a super shorty or anything like that. This is deadly. This probably 2 inches total or a little less than 2 inches. This will run in your 12 gauge guns, your Mossbergs, your Benellis, automatics, pumps, all that. This will run without issues in your gun, especially for home defense. This has got 12 pellets of #1, 26 grains of long shot. Went back with a 616 Fiocchi in this cutback. See, no buffer in here. Home defense. Do you need it to hunt with? No. Your pellets will be square when they come out, but as long as you're shooting inside of 30 or so yards, you ain't gonna really notice it so much. This has got a Flex Seal in it. I don't know if you can see too good, see through the hole. We put a Flex Seal over 26 grains long shot, and by 4s, stack three rows of 4 pellets, 12 pellets of 30 cal, #1, in that little old short round right there. See here? Here's another one. Guys, I see it here, and see here, and folks are worried about brass height. See here, one is high brass, one is low brass. Brass height has nothing to do with hull strength. Nothing, zero. Back in the day, they were used to identify high brass, hunting round, low brass, target round. Yeah, that was it. High brass, hunting round, low brass, target round. It was a quick identification process. Had nothing to do with hull strength. All this goes all the way back to paper hull days. Here in the modern days, modern hulls and stuff like that, it is all cosmetic. All cosmetic. Here's a 3-inch mag from Ballistic Products. A lot of you guys got these, the 10mm brass Federal, brand new. No different than the high brass Federal. None at all. Exact same round. As a matter of fact, this one is a yeah, this is an 18 pellet #1. 18 pellet #1 3-inch round right there with that little low brass. Yeah, has nothing to do with hull strength. Okay, that's just a little quick tip. I hear it and see it a lot on Buck and Slug. A lot of folks are concerned about the brass height, figuring that has something to do with hull strength or whether it's a Magnum load or not. That has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with it. Just quick visual to know honey round from target round. That's all. Here, I picked this beautiful little round up and didn't tell y'all what it was. Know what's in this rascal right here? Can y'all read that? 0.5, 34 caliber. See, 34 cal will still stack in these little thin wall holes by threes. They sure will. They'll stack in the CB1138 wad like a dream. You can stack up to 35 caliber in a CB1138 wad. This one here, I think I got an FS12. I do, Flex Seal. And then just stack them in here by threes, and I got 9 pellets of 34 caliber, 0.5. Yeah, that's BA right there. That is one heck of a home defense round right there. That'll get him before he gets through the door. And I'll be shooting all these down at the range here for y'all in a very in a upcoming episode. Here we go. Another home defense round in a short round. I'm just calling them a short round, or shorter than normal round. 6 pellets a quad. 6 pellets of 37 caliber out of Marty's mold, 37 cal, polished quad. 6 pellets in here. Pushed by 26 a long shot. Got a Nobel Sport primer in this little Mirage hull. That's what this is. Mirage made by Rio. Nobel Sport primer. 26 a long shot. FS12. Beautiful little roll crimp. No need for buffer. Not whenever it's home defense. But y'all see how they look, what the finished product looks like. So, let me grab one right here, put it together to show you how easy it is to put them together once you've got them cut. And the possibilities are just absolutely endless. Remember how I told you the Fiocchi and the Rio? Well, here's the Fiocchi. You want to have it punched out because I've got this tool adjusted for these hulls here. Okay. Just like that. Alright, I'm going to set up the lock and load. We're going to need 26 grains, a long shot. What we're going to put together, I hadn't pulled another thing up. It's a Fiocchi hull. We got a Nobel Sport primer because I got them laying right here. They work just fine. I can't tell the difference between them and the Fiocchi or the Chedite. They fit very nice. .26 grains a long shot. I've got a Ballistic Products FS12 Flex Seal. If you don't have these, but you've got the super short, the little green ones, I use a pile of these boys. It's just it's a short MG42. You can use the base off of this. Let me show you. They got perforations here. They're perforated top and bottom. Now look what you got right there. Yeah. Which basically an FS12. It's a hair, just a hair taller. Oh, eighth of an inch less or less difference. Probably about the height of a brush wad, about identical height of a brush wad. FS12, the base off of a super short, little green wad, the Gualandi, super short, super mini, whatever they call it. Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? You can do the same with the MG42 wide. You can tear the petals off. MG42 is perforated as well, and just use the base. You can take the CB1138 wad and take your scissors and cut the petals off and use the power piston. All of it works well in this load I'm putting together right here. We'll just use the little super short base, the one we just tore the petals off of. You got a pile of these. Usually find these in stock too. our 26 grains, a long shot. Gonna make sure got it down in there nice. It's just put together what I'd consider a real quick home defense, because that's as simple as it gets. Power piston here. Let's grab up, let's say 9 pellets of Lee double aught. Let's do that. And grab up 9 pellets of polished Lee double aught. That's some nice stuff right there. Stack them in here by threes. Just get them lined up in there where they go. Got 3, 6, 9, just like that. We're just going to grab a bingo card. Alright, it's probably been several rounds since I hit the roll crimp tool. Guys, I have used everything there is out there. Ballistic Products makes a great roll tool. Precisions has some great roll tools. Over at the Reloaders Network, the 4-pin roller, I forget what it's called. Roger sent me one and it works great. It'll roll anything. This here is made by a machinist buddy of mine that just took measurements and made one of his own, and it rolls like a dream. There's a lot of good stuff out there. This was the one my machinist buddy made for me. Slip out of my hand. I'm in here kind of funky so you guys can see what I'm doing. There it is. That's a killer right there. They all load the same, whether you use a clear overshot card, 9 double aughts, 6 triple aughts, 6 quad, 12 number 1s, 30 cal, and everything, anything in between. They roll beautiful. Well, I tell you what, when you cut them things off, they roll absolutely beautiful. This hope this helps you out a lot. These work great. Powders, 26 of Pro Reach works great. I used 30 of Blue Dot and IMR Blue, if you're lucky enough to still have some IMR Blue. And what else have I used? I told you about the Pro Reach, the long shot. I've used up to 28.5 in these that you'd be using as a hunting load and stuff like that, and up under the ball, up under the slugs and the ball. I've loaded 70 cal ball. I've loaded 5.25 Lyman Sabo in here. You'll be seeing all that down at the range, but this is going to give you all a heads up on how easy it is to put these together, and it is super, super easy. We'll see y'all on the next one. Bye-bye. Running. All right, we're just going to see how they run. Run just fine. They are low recoil. Okay. One of the wads, I'm sure one of the flex wads popped right there, but I think that's going to be all your double aughts right there in the middle. Not bad at all. I think we're going to go with that. Looks like that's going to be a good concept.